Hi, my name's Molly McKinley, and I am the resident costume designer of CYT Dallas, and I've been in this position for the last 5 years. So it's really funny. I don't have a history or a background in theater at all. I was going to go to school to be a veterinarian, and I got a year and a half into the program and realized I didn't really like science, which is kind of critical for veterinary medicine, and just kind of made a 180. It was kind of part of my faith journey and the Lord reaching me in college. And I had a friend who invited me to be the costume designer for her production of Beauty and the Beast with the Children's Theater. And I told her, I was like, I don't really know what that means, but since I'm currently a fashion design student and I know how to sew, and that's my sister's favorite show, like, sure, why not? And that was just the beginning of this completely new journey. And I went to grad school for costume design, so I have a master's in this. So I studied costume design at the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa. So I have a Master of Fine Arts in Theatrical Design and Technology. I really love Nyla Dixon. So she did The Lord of the Rings, and she also did the most recent Peter Pan rendition. And you can totally tell that she did both of those just because of the way she uses like organic material and just like really earthy, gritty stuff for her design base. But of course, Paul Tazwell knocked it out of the park with Wicked here recently, and Julie Taymor with Lion King. You know, there's just some iconic moments that have just been larger than life that are hard to forget. Yeah, I'd say the two that stick with me the most. When I was in grad school, we did a production of Eccentricities of a Nightingale, and the director had this unique vision of having a statue that was an actor on stage. And so we had to costume her like a statue, but she also had to move. Like as a human, she had to move. And then he wanted to position her in different ways to tell parts of the story. So that was a really cool piece, because it's like, how do you make a human being look like a statue? But then more just like playfully recently, I made my nephews some cartoons. So like one was Pokemon and one was from Avatar: The Last Airbender. I made them custom plush gaming chairs. And so they're just larger than life stuffed animals that they get to sit inside of, and it's a gaming chair. So that was fun. So it was definitely firstly and foremostly like a God thing, because when I moved here, I looked for Christian youth theater in Google search, and this did not pop up. So I was here for a couple years working at different places until a girl that I knew at church who was an epic fantasy writer, she was telling me that where her little sister acted, this place called CYT Dallas was currently hiring for a costume designer. And so I applied, I interviewed with Tyler and Kate at the coffee shop, and then the rest is history. So the first show that I worked on here at CYT Dallas was Junie B. Jones, and it was so precious. Like, what a great first show to start with. So for CYT, pretty much all of the Romanov costumes in Anastasia. I've always wanted to costume design for Anastasia. That was like my childhood favorite sister movie with my sister, and just always dreamed of doing that show. It's so beautiful, it's so ornate. So that was super fun. But then also this lovely lady here, the gold dress from Hello Dolly, she was also my baby. Like, she was really a labor of love. So many people helped make her, and she was really spectacular on stage. So I'm really proud of that one. So it's always so hard to answer that, and it's funny, I get asked that all the time, but I definitely have to say it's always whatever our next current show is, because it's really just the show itself, us coming together as a community and building it together and bringing all the storytelling to life, where we partner. After being in the costume studio, we partner with the actors who've been working separately, and just the whole process, that's always my favorite show. A fun fact people might not know about costume design is it's really the details that sell it. I've worked with other designers before, and they're like, oh, I just did this because it was really cool. And I'm like, that's so cool. However, what did it do to support the storytelling? And when you, as a costume designer, when you think through the little tiny details, like, would this person wear this or not? Would they have this accessory or not? And would they have this disheveledness about them because of what happened the day before? Like, when all these pieces come together and it's all the details, that's really the key and the beauty of storytelling and costume design and coming to life. I'd say it's the bookends. I love the beginning because I love thinking about how to tell the story through costuming, really thinking through all those things that I had just mentioned, and I really love the back end where you get to see it actually come to life and partner with the actor and just see the whole thing come together. Those are like definitely my favorites. I would say that my dream show that I would like to do in the future that I've never done before would actually be Peter Pan. And the main reason is when I was in grad school, we did this costume design project, just the just the bare bones of it and didn't get produced, but we did this project called the Marley Project, where we, as a group, there were 3 of us as designers, and we co-designed, and we designed this beautiful rendition of Peter Pan where it's actually like a dream life sequence of all the kids who end up in Neverland. And I just think there's something really beautiful about putting multiple brains together and designing a show from multiple brains and multiple hearts and multiple story points of view. And so that specifically, that version of Peter Pan is what I would love to do. I feel like I would say my advice to aspiring costume designers would be twofold. It's like you really need to learn your craft. It's way better to identify the key components of costume designing and why it matters, and learning how to execute that well. So you're not just making things to make things or just for a wow factor, you're actually helping tell the story. And then the other twofold portion of it would be find a good team. Because there's no point in doing the work that you do unless you're surrounded by good teammates, because that really makes or breaks the process.